Give a brief overview of this. We start out developing a strategy trying to understand, what do we own? What assets do we have? Are they in our CMMS system? What structure does that look like from a parent-child asset? What are components or spare parts? Whew, wow, there's a lot there just in that space. Then we've got to understand, how critical is it? How critical is this equipment? And if it is critical, how does it foul? Once we understand how it fouls, we can then begin to develop a strategy on what are we going to do about it. How often are we going to, inspect it, or how often are we going to replace wear components, or even are we going to utilize a technology such as IoT or some predictive technologies to see an impending failure before it occurs. So what are we going to do about it? That's not enough. We have to have mechanisms to measure whether or not that strategy is effective. And the way we do that is by analyzing the work orders that come out of the CMMS to see if they're effective. Well, how do you know if they're effective or not, George? Great question. You're going to measure and look at, well, am I seeing failures of components that I have a strategy against? So if I've developed a strategy of utilizing predictive maintenance to inspect my pump couplings, but I keep having pump couplings, then maybe that's not a good enough task. And while predictive maintenance is great, maybe it's the wrong coupling for the application. Maybe there's a better material of construction. There's lots of different things to do to help mitigate failures, not just use technology. And so analysis of information is going to be critical to determine if the strategy you've chosen is effective. Additionally, there could be business context changes. An asset that was critical yesterday might not be critical today. So we've got to measure our success and understand and analyze data. And then we've got to look for changes in business, and we've got to do the analysis and update our strategy. So at that point, we are now back to square one. What's obsolete? Do I change my equipment hierarchy? Is it still as critical? What am I seeing in failure? So this analysis really is of these first three circles here. And then we move on. Awesome. So this is a never-ending cycle. Every couple of years, you should be reviewing the entire PM strategy and making modifications based on data in the system. Of course, in order to do that, the data's got to be in the system. So drive the use of your CMMS or EAM system.